Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about Fate Remnant Collide. So yeah, let us begin, shall we guys? So we currently see our boy Rex as he's um currently late in the morning, or at least I meant early in the morning. And as he's currently cooking breakfast, as while he was doing so, he would hear noise from the background, or at least from behind him, as he would say, "Ah, you must be back. Right, my Prishniki," you would say, as you would look behind him and see the Prishniki from the last episode. As the Prishniki would say this, "Yes, me and my brothers have recently talked about and researched about and looked around in that Mount Glen of yours, right, Master?" As you'd say, "Yes. Now mind telling me what had happened?" As after saying that, wait for a second. Jesus. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on, as we currently see is, Rex, as after saying that, the Aprashik would say this. "Yes, after looking around Mount Lind, it turns out that the base made by the White Fang and that Roman Torchwick has been complying, or more specifically, answering the calls of some mistress of theirs." As we say, "Mistress? Mind telling me what is it about?" As he would say, "Well, from what we have gathered, it seems that they're answering their mistress's call, more specifically, to destroy the wall." As you would say, "Wait, you mean the wall blocking off some of the Grim?" As he would say, "Yes. We also gotten reports from some of my brothers that they're planning to use the rundown train and using it as a battering ram, making Grim pretty much attracted to the area, causing panic and destruction, attracting more Grim." Doing so, as Izuku would finish the sentence saying, "So they're gonna be turning this place into a rough house. Essentially, turning this place into a damn Grim paradise." As he would say this, "Exactly, Master. So, what are your orders?" As Izuku would look towards him, as he would just say this: "Destroy the White Fang immediately, and mercilessly. Make them pay. Make sure that they lose their morale immediately. Also, maybe this time I shall send in some servants to help you out." As the Aprashiki would say this, "Very well, Master. But what servants you will be bringing us to battle with?" As Izuku would just, not Izuku, I meant Rex would say, "I think this time we shall bring in, I know. I've been wanting to try and summon them for a while." As he would prick his finger, as he would start bringing out the summoning circle. Doing so, he would say the chant, and I hope this time it will actually work. Or at least, I can finally find the actual chant for it. Anyway, let's begin. But, unbeknownst to him, he was being watched. More specifically, by the rest of Team Wrath, as one of them would say this, specifically Tina. "So, Harmony, what is he doing?" As Harmony would say this, "The hell if I know. Actually, those markings, they look like..." As Walter would say this, "Yeah, I reckon that's his ability. His semblance, Grand Order. It definitely looks like a version of his glyph, or at least that's what I think." After doing the glyph, he would say the incantation. "Four elements, silver and iron. Foundation, stone, and Archduke of Pax. And for my great master, Schweinord, I meant, close the four gates, come forth from the crown, and follow the four roads leading to the kingdom. Fill, 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 fill." After saying these words, a glow of red light would start swarming around the area. As, Walter would say, One detonation? As Tina would say, this seems, as Harmony would say this. Well, this is certainly interesting, she would say. As Izuku would say this one more, say the rest of the incantation. Repeat 5 times, but when each is filled, destroy it. Now, set. Heed my words. My will creates your body, and your sword creates my destiny. As after saying that, more red electricity would swarm the area. As he would continue on. If you heed the Grail's call, and obey my will and reason, then answer me. I hereby swear that I shall be all the good in the world, that I shall defeat all evil in the world. Seventh heaven clad in great words of power. From the circle of binding, vow guardian of the scales. Or at least, wait for a second. After doing so, electricity would start sparking around it, around the circle. As he would continue, an oath shall be sworn here. I shall attain all virtues of all of heaven. I shall have domain over all evil and all of hell. From the seventh heaven, attained to be by 3 great words of power, come forth from the ring of resentment, protector of the balance. As after saying these words, the electricity would die out as 2 figures would appear. After doing so, Rex would just say this. Now, come to me, assassin of Crimson, assassin of Ebony. After saying these words, the 2 assassins would appear. As they would look, opening their eyes, as they would both bow down, saying, Now, may we ask, are you our master? They would both say, as Rex would say this, yes. As one of these servants would basically, stand up, as he would say this, nice to meet you, master. My name is Li Shuen. I am merely an old man who holds no spear, but I alone should be enough to protect you, master. I'll be under your care, then. As after saying that, the other servant in the room would say this. Very well. My name is Yume Ren, nothing more and nothing less. I am merely an assassin class, so don't expect anything of me. Now may I ask, what is my first mission, she would say, as she would basically wield up 2 flaming swords. But they're not flaming swords at all. In fact, these seem to be more like blood. As after hearing that, Rex would say, I see. Then Yume Ren. As Yume Ren would say this, yes, master. As he would say this, I want both you and Li Shuen to help out the Aprishniki at Mount Glen. My Aprishniki over here will bring you to that area. I want you to stop the White Fang and Roman Torchwick once. Wait for a second. I want you to stop Roman Torchwick and the White Fang from causing any trouble, including that of destroying the wall and causing several Grimm to basically rampage the area. As one of them would say this, mind telling me, master, what are these Grimms? Said a somewhat incredulous Li Shuen. As after saying so, Rex would just say, well, Grimm are made from... Actually, they're more like the negative emotions of humanity itself. Essentially, they're monsters, so you need to destroy them at all cost. As after saying that, Li Shuen would say, you really have a good heart, master. It's quite a surprise that you're able to summon me, considering of my past, including that of Miss... Wait for a second. Considering of what Miss Yume Ren was in life. As after saying that, she would say, whatever. As after saying so, our boy Rex would just look at him as he would just say, Hmm, I mean, you're not wrong. I meant wrong. But either way, I still need you both to try and take care of everybody. I don't want innocent people dying on me. As after saying so, they would say, "Very well, master." As after saying that, they would start leaving with the Aprishniki. Doing so, Rex would just say, "Finally. I guess I can start making breakfast." As after saying so, he would start continuing making breakfast. After that, we would time skip to morning. So, we currently see the rest of Team Wrath as they're currently going through the school. As while this is happening, we would currently see our boy Rex as he's currently reading a book. One of them would say, "Hey, Rex?" Said a somewhat, shy Tina right now. As Rex would say, "Oh, was it Tina?" As she would say, "Well, about the, party tomorrow. Are you excited for that? Also, are you, are you taking someone to the dance?" As you would say, "Actually, no. Currently I only have nothing to do right now. Also, I'm not really interested into the dance or anything like that right now." After hearing so, she would say, "Oh, I see. Then, if you want to, then..." As before she can say anything else, she would be blocked by a somewhat crazed Weiss, as she would say, "Hey, Mr. Ironwood, not Ironwood, I meant, Mr. Goodwitch, as he would say, "Whoa, whoa, just call me Rex." What is it, Weiss?" As she would say, "Well, would you want to go on the as before she can say anything else, she would be blocked by, by Yang, I should say, "Hey there," she would say, as she would basically, be wearing glasses, or at least sunglasses. She would say, "Hey, you want to go on a prom ticket?" As before she can say anything else, she would be blocked by, or she would bump into, Velvet, as she would say, hello, Rex. Would you want to go on the prom?" As before she can say anything else, she would be pulled back as she would say, specifically Coco, "Hey there, kid. Would you want to go now?" As before she can say anything else, Izuku would basically be running in, or at least Rex would be, pulled on by, by Walter and the rest of his team as they would start leaving. After doing so, Walter would say, "Holy shit, man! One tarnation! Seriously, I never seen that many people ever since the whole incident back in my village." As Rex would say this, "Thanks, Walt." As you'd say, "No problem. Besides, I wouldn't want you to be, rushed by all of that, that," you would say. As Rex would say this, "Yeah, no kidding." As Tommy would say, "As usual, some of these girls are idiots." As Tina would say, "Hey, that isn't nice, Tina." As she would say, "My thoughts exactly," she would say. As she would basically, like move her eyes a little bit to the side, or at least roll her eyes. As Tina would say this. Anyway, so, Rex, do you have anybody for the prom, or, as you'd say, not right now? Besides, I'm kind of busy with stuff." As she would say, "Oh, I see." As you'd say, "Anyway, we should probably get back to class. After all, Mama's gonna be pissed." As Walter would say this, "Oh yeah, we almost forgot. Let's go, guys." As after saying that, they would start leaving. As we would go to another perspective. Now, we currently see some of the Prishniki fighting against several of the White Fang members in the, in Mount Glen, as they're currently firing crossbows and using their axes. Some getting their arms ripped off by some of the White Fang members as they would start using their teeth to fight. Currently, we also see above the tree line, those other two, the assassins. As Li Shun would say this, It is time. And so, this is where we're gonna end, this is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. So yeah, bye bye!